How's it going, folks? Welcome back to another video. So the PlayStation State of Play was real bad, and this is the reaction that you've all wanted me to react to, so we are going to get started with this. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell to stay up to date of all content I release, and of course, don't forget to drop a like on his video, because it is content that we are using. So let's see what he has to say, because I watched the actual State of Play. It was bad. Outside of Astrobot, it was bad. It was about a 4, maybe a 4.5 out of 10, and that's me being generous as well. That's me, taking on board that those that like Overwatch style games would maybe be interested in the Marvel's games. So with that in mind, I gave it a 4.5. If that wasn't the case, it probably would have gone to something like maybe a 3. So, or a 3.5. So there wasn't much there. It was a bad showing. But let's see what he has to say, because my thought process is this: if this was an Xbox presentation, he would be saying Xbox is dead. So let's see how he's going to go with this.
What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and I just finished watching the new PlayStation State of Play, and I'm pretty disappointed. Now, a lot of people on the internet are saying it's the worst state of play of all time, or that it was a catastrophe for the PS5. I wouldn't quite go that far. It was disappointing. Some of the
I think it was worse than the one they had before. I think this is literally one of the worst I've seen for PlayStation. It was really bad. They basically announced everything for PC. This whole showcase was for Xbox and PC. There was almost nothing there that was, exclusive to PlayStation. And it's a State of Play. They were talking about just the other day how their strategy is still console first, but this State of Play told you otherwise.
Trailers were confusingly bad, but I feel like the bright points were at least halfway decent. But let's actually go through the games that were shown, and let me just kind of digest this together with you guys.
Okay.
All right, let's do this. Hi, I'm DreamcastGuy, and this is sort of just a breakdown of what we witnessed, because I'm kind of just lost. More than anything else, this State of Play, there is definitely a difference from PlayStation State of Plays versus a PlayStation Showcase. Like, typically when Sony is trying to announce something major like a new console or their big exclusives, they include that in a showcase. Whereas State of Plays, these are typically the tinier events. It's times where they focus a specific game, or they talk about projects that are more indie or second party. But even for a State of Play, this was a strange one. By the way, I'm Dream.
He says 1 or 2, but there's 14 titles there, and a couple VR2 titles that are better played on the MetaQuest. But anyway, let's get on with it.
Guy, don't know if I said that. Be sure to subscribe.
My dude is suffering amnesia. He's forgetting saying it's DreamcastGuy. He has to confirm. Nice, I like it. Look at it. He can't even think anymore.
I'm kind of in a fugue state. I'm kind of confused by this, because I expected more. Now, let's begin. We're going to go through this chronologically. I found these tweets that kind of list it all out. The entire presentation was 35 minutes long, and there wasn't a lot of preamble, but almost half of it was dedicated to Concord. There is a studio called Firesprite that was purchased by PlayStation that's supposed to be the next big money maker. It's obvious that PlayStation is literally betting millions of dollars on their success, and it turned out that this...
Don't forget, right, they cancelled Factions 2, they cancelled Spider-Man Online for this. That's what makes this worse, right? They cancelled Spider-Man Online, the multiplayer, which actually, the leaked footage actually looked damn good. Right? I don't care what anyone wants to say. It looked fun. I don't know if it would have been the longevity of it would have been cool after the initial buzz of having multiple Spider-Mans going around the city doing whatever you're going to do. Maybe that's why you didn't really see a future for it. I don't know. But the gameplay and the mechanics that we saw looked fun. Then you had Factions 2, which was going to tell a story from a different part of of America, that was happening away from the actual main storyline to see other settlers within it. And that would have been cool. But they cancelled those two big franchises for this. So let that sink in for a second. That they said that Factions 2 and Spider-Man 2 were not better than this. And they kept this one as opposed to those two. Also, Concord is built pretty much from ex-Bungie devs who left Bungie because they wanted to get away from Sony, and then they got bought out by Sony, so it looks like it's inevitable that they're always going to be owned by Sony, but these are the people that can't balance PvP to save their lives. So I don't know how much faith I have in them anyway, just based on that.
Cool CGI trailer that they begin with, it really has nothing to do with the game itself. They ended up showing gameplay for it. This is a squad-based shooter that very much feels like Valorant. It's going to have like superhero powers and objective-based gameplay. And
you just can't say Overwatch because it's an Xbox game.
Trying to kill the enemy team while performing heists. Now, I will say that to be nice to it, I do think the graphics are good. Like, visually, this art palette, this presentation, it does look good, but I'm not really the core demographic. I am not the audience for it. So I will admit that stuff like this, a lot of live service games, to me,
if this was an Xbox game, he would have been saying this looks absolutely hot garbage. Without a shadow of doubt. He would have said that, I mean, just look at him. You can see he wants to say it. He wants to admit that this game is shit graphically. And he's now saying that it's good graphically. If this was an Xbox game, you can guarantee that he would have been ripping into the graphics right now.
I just don't care. Anything these days that does have a battle pass and like premium cosmetics and stuff, just not really my cup of tea. But also it's the fact that this game looks so graphically great. The fact that it's just going to be a online shooter, that these characters aren't really going to have storylines beyond like cutscenes occasionally released like Overwatch does, is a bit of a disappointment. So next up, they said, hey, God of War is coming to PC. Ragnarok is a 10 out of 10 experience. I absolutely loved it. So the fact that it's coming and it's going to have all...
Everyone I talk to says 2018 God of War was amazing, myself included. How is Ragnarok is so padded and so boring and so just... What's the word? Maybe not boring, but it's so safe that it feels boring. Does that make sense? I mean, I still need to complete it, and I will complete it eventually. But it just feels so... Like, I got to the part where I think I'm in some white area. I don't know how. I reckon I'm about 2/3 of the way through, maybe 3/4 of the way through the game. But it just got so boring, I put it down, and I haven't returned to it since. I do want to return to it, but my God, there was nothing here that screamed a step up from the original 2018 version. In fact, in my opinion, it was a step down. Even like the feuds that carried on from the first game are irritating. They're annoying. They're jarring. They're almost impeding you and adding fluff and padding the game for no damn reason. The pacing is just off. Giving this a 10 out of 10, I just don't get it.
Ultra-wide support, uncapped frame rates. I mean, if you have not already played God of War Ragnarok, I think PC gamers are going to eat that up and probably mod The Simpsons into it day one. Okay, there were like 3 big surprises for this event that we're going to talk about all 3 of them, but one of them was definitely Dynasty Warriors Origins. Now, I like some Dynasty Warriors games. I'm not the biggest fanatic for the franchise, but this one actually looks great. My problem with a lot of these games, which are called Musus, is that lack of weightiness, is the fact that since I'm literally mowing down sometimes hundreds of thousands of people in a singular battle, no particular encounter ever seems to have that real weight. It doesn't really feel like I'm doing anything other than blindly tapping buttons. This actually seems to convey some interesting force to it. I'm definitely playing this, but unfortunately not coming out till next year and not
available on every single format, so
not even a release window. So this may be like a full year away, like summer 2025. This one, I have no idea what Vinnygii. It looks like you have a cat photographer. I'm not the whatever this is. No, thank you.
He's gonna play it. He's gonna play it, and he's gonna give it 10 out of 10. You see. That was like a straight nope.
Ballad of Antara. Now, this one looked very strange because it looked so Dark Soulsy. Like it looked like it just had such an interesting, like dark aesthetic. But a lot of these games, we really don't know enough about them. I'm glad they showed more gameplay than they typically do. Tons of trailers, tons of CGI, tons of stuff that doesn't actually convey what the game is about only frustrates me. So the fact that this time they are showing gameplay, even if we don't have all the contextual clues to figure it out, I'm glad with a lot of what the state of play presented. But this is one of the games that I think did actually look like, I hope it gets some attention because the first reactions to it, it does look pretty good.
It is also free to play, so there should be some pay to win mechanics on there as well. At least I would expect it. So it's a little disappointing that it is free to play. But, there are free to play games that are good, that don't, gouge you out for money. So hopefully it'll be okay. But it is available on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation.
Then we got a bunch of PSVR games.
Which are also on the MetaQuest 3 and will probably run better on the MetaQuest 3 because it's wireless and it's got a better. The MetaQuest 3 is just a beast, and it has better lens for your eyes to stop you from having a bad time.
Not own a PlayStation VR 2. I'm never going to own a PSVR 2 unless, I don't know, for some reason I got one for free, but even then I probably wouldn't play very much. As much as this looks like Skyrim VR, not my cup of tea. This, however, I do love Alien a lot. The gameplay was super dark. Yeah, look how good these graphics are. Oh, God. When we could actually see stuff, though, Alien Rogue Incursion does seem pretty cool. If this
is one I'm interested in and one I'm probably going to get for the MetaQuest 3.
Ends up coming to PC, I'll play it then. I do have a PC headset. I'm just not spending $600 for a PSVR 2 headset.
That's another point. With the MetaQuest, you can just plug it into your PC and play through there as well. There's also a wireless link that you can get for your MetaQuest to your PC, so you can play it on your PC wirelessly as well. I mean, I wonder when Xbox is going to actually release a VR headset. Do you think they will, chat? Let me know in the comment section below.
But man, the idea of being locked in a ship with a VR headset, that is definitely my cup of tea. Now, next up, Marvel Rivals.
See, this one I think is going to be insanely successful. This one is going to challenge Overwatch. If they do this right, I think this one, they're going to challenge Overwatch.
So it's funny that we got two separate like games as a service, sort of live service, co-op shooter things in a single presentation.
Concord is dead.
I'm not probably going to play Marvel Rivals, but the initial leaks about this, apparently they've already been doing some secret beta tests. And the people who have been playing it have said it's actually fantastic. They've said that not only is it well balanced and fun, but all the different heroes have wildly different powers. In the trailer, they showed a bunch of destructible environments. Like they collapsed this, what do they call this? Pagoda? I forget what they call these, bent roof, things like that. That was cool. The idea of being able to, in a round, permanently damage structures is something I'm not sure we've seen before, but I'm definitely down for the concept. I want to see how it actually works. That is coming out here in not too long, coming out in July. I'm definitely going to check that out. I mean, I am enough of a Spider fan that I'll try out Venom. I'll try out Peter Parker. Hopefully this doesn't cost like $50 to start. Don't make the Overwatch mistake. Give us a chance to try it for free. At least a couple characters. Maybe I'll get into that. Okay.
Also, don't forget, Valve has their own game coming, hero shooter coming out with Deadlock. So you've got Marvel's Rivals. You've got Overwatch. Concord is cooked. Concord is going to be... I actually said the name in my previous video, but... it's that game that Amazon made, that hero shooter that died on arrival. Yeah, that.
Okay, where winds meet. This looked crazy cool. Now, technically, this got revealed initially about 2 years ago, but the first teaser trailers, we couldn't tell what this is about. Apparently, it's going to be sort of like an open world Dark Souls. Think of it as like Chinese Elden Ring. It's based more on Chinese mythology. And honestly, I was not expecting it to have like big, grandiose monsters and wild parries and stuff. It has a very Sekiro vibe to it in that it does.
I mean, literally every game of this caliber is the same, right? And the only one that I really enjoy is Ghost of Tsushima. But all of these kind of follow the same trope, the same style, the same aesthetic, the same gameplay. They need to start getting a bit more original. The good thing about Ghost of Tsushima was that it took the samurai element and it made it its own and went a unique way, and it was different. And that's what made it so good. You actually cared for Jin Sakai. I'm looking at these pictures and all I'm seeing is, another samurai Sekiro style of game and, a Dark Souls type of game. And I'm instantly turned off already.
Like you're able to counteract some crazy super attacks and stuff. As a fan of Dark Souls, this has my full attention. But now, let me talk about two that definitely disappointed me, which is the Until Dawn remake, which, to be honest, almost looks kind of worse. Like,
oh shit, I did not see that shot. That looks... No way! I thought Silent Hill 2 was bad. No! What is going on with these remakes? Are they just not putting any effort into them anymore? This is a remake. This isn't a remaster. This is a remake. Holy shit, this is bad.
Everybody looks so funky. Why is this coming to PlayStation 5? Like, something about this has a deep, uncanny valley vibe to it that I am strongly off-put by, and that's also how I felt about the Silent Hill 2 remake. Now,
such a disappointment.
I am a awful Silent Hill nutcase. I've actually had a lot of videos talking about Silent Hill. I'm even wearing my Silent Hill 2 shirt right now. Konami...
That was totally planned. We all know that.
Sent me a shirt because I'm such a big fan of this specifically. Something about the faces, the animation, something about this doesn't look quite right. Now, technically, in 10 minutes, as I record this video, they're about to have like a special presentation talking about all the things that are happening in Silent Hill. So,
my dude is churning out these videos fast, man. I'm impressed. I am impressed.
So I'm going to do a video reacting to that. It's called the Silent Hill Transmission. I hope we see a lot more gameplay. I almost kind of hope this gets a demo to kind of, I don't know, let people try it, because the initial little bits of this, I'm worried. I like a lot of what Bloober Team does more than the average person. This studio gets a lot.
Man, I'm sorry, Bloober Team, they seem to just be going downhill. They're not performing. I don't know what it is, but they are just not performing. This is running on Unreal Engine 5. It should not be looking like this if they are making this from scratch. They are recreating everything. So, we've seen what Unreal Engine 5 can do, right? This isn't it.
A lot of hate, but something about this looks a little bit off. Path of Exile 2, I'm not going to bore you about this. I'm obsessed with freaking Diablo. You got my Diablo tattoo and stuff. And if you haven't played it, Path of Exile is basically like Diablo 2, but with modern day graphics. It's extra hard. It's got lots more gearing, lots of monster slaying. So if you're a fan of Diablo, this is essentially going to be like a more hardcore version of Diablo 4. I am definitely going to play this. They also announced it's going to have cross-play and cross-progressions.
Oh no, Alex, your game is about to get invaded. Oh no. Someone tell Alex his game's about to get invaded. Someone do it.
So I definitely am going to play it probably both on my PS5 and on my PC, depending on which friend group is doing what.
And that is what I love. And Xbox has introduced this, and it is so freaking cool. That cross-progression between your console and your PC is one of the best things Xbox has ever created, in my opinion. And I'm so happy that other companies are now starting to do this. The fact that you can just start playing on your console, then move to your PC, move to your tablet, and play wherever you want is... I know that people say that this hurts the ecosystem, the console selling, but as a consumer, personally, the ability that I can do that, especially in my current residential predicament where we are living in temporary housing. And I mean, it was useful before, but like right now, it's an absolute godsend for me to continue playing. And, I love the fact that I can just buy the game on one place. And even if I have to buy the game in multiple areas, my save transfers. One of my biggest annoyances with Helldivers 2, and one of the reasons why I didn't really get into it, believe it or not, was the fact that when I got the game on PlayStation and PC, there was no cross progression, and I swear they said that there would be. And even with connecting your account to PSN, there's no cross progression. So, like, what gives? Sony needs to up their game for this, and other companies also need to get on the ball. Cross progression is a thing that everyone wants. Bungie also did this, earlier, a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago maybe, with Destiny 2, and it was glorious. I don't care that you have to repurchase the game. I'm okay with that. Even MMOs do that. But give us the option of cross progression. That is what I want.
What? But this is one of the two games that also blew my mind. Monster Hunter Wilds. Holy heck. Capcom does not miss. The fact that this game, it is an open world Monster Hunter that looks like it's going to have actual weather effects, even bigger monsters. It looks like you're going to be able to possibly like start a fight and then come back. Again, destructible environments. It showed them chopping off like stalactites and stuff to fall and crush things. This seems incredible. Capcom are becoming my literal favorite studio. Like, everything they put out is bonkers perfecto.
So that means if Microsoft buy Capcom are instantly going to be shit in his eyes, and it's going to be his least liked company. Phil, you know what to do.
I am super ready for this, but let's talk about the last big surprise. And
Astro
for me,
was awesome.
This was the closeout big reveal. This is like the game that was supposed to blow our minds.
And it did.
And for me, it definitely worked. Yep. A new Astrobot game by Team Asobi. I've liked the previous.
Imagine Astrobot being the best game of your showcase. Now, no disrespect to Asobi or anyone else. Astrobot is a cool mascot. It's pretty much PlayStation through and through. And I love the dude, right? He's awesome. But imagine Astrobot being the biggest game of your showcase. Out of everything that they showed, the biggest and bestest thing that they showed was Astrobot. Let that sink in for a second.
Astrobot games, but man.
Even bigger than Monster Hunter Wilds, Silent Hill 2 Remake.
This looks better. It looks like it has more puzzle solving and stuff. But what's crazy is that every level seemed to have a 100% different aesthetic, different vibe. Every game's got different powers, backpacks, goofiness. It's got all sorts of cameos from games like we saw them. This is Ico. We saw a reference to God of War. This is Journey. We saw them referencing freaking Shadow of the Colossus. This looks so cool. There was levels where he becomes giant, or he's jet skiing, or flying planes. Like, I think that Astrobot is going to end up being that sleeper hit of the year. For every studio, for every game console maker, they have like that one game comes out that kind of slips through the cracks. I hope this gets bought. I hope this gets attention, because to me, this looks great, and it's coming out September 6th, 2024. That's awesome. But how do I feel about it overall? I would give this a 6 out of 10.
There is no way that he gives this a 6 out of 10. If this was an Xbox showcase, this would have got a 2. He would have been saying that this was dead. Now, I gave it a 4 to a 4.5 because of Marvel Rivals and Astrobot. Those two just blew, those two were good, right? I'm not into Overwatch games, but if you are, Rivals is going to be a game that you are interested in. So I'm looking at it objectively and not subjectively. But no way is this presentation a 6. Just no way in hell. If this was an Xbox presentation and this is what they delivered, he would have been all over this. So you can clearly see right now that he is chatting rubbish.
Like the state of play entirely, I'd give a 6 out of 10.
No way.
I think the good stuff was good, but there just wasn't enough good stuff. And I am a bit nervous about Until Dawn Remake as a fan of it. And I just think that the Silent Hill 2 remake, I'm getting a bit worried about that. But how do you guys feel about this?
Well, that's it. I personally think that his overall verdict is definitely biased, definitely influenced by his love for PlayStation. Now, if Xbox had released this, I would still give it a 4, right? A 4, 4.5. You guys know me. I am pretty straight shooting when it comes to this sort of thing. If I like a game, I like it. If I like a presentation, I like it. You know, I had a lot of people disagreeing with me with the developers direct as well when I didn't give it the 9 out of 10s that everyone thought it was. Or the 10 out of 10s that people thought it was. I thought it was a good presentation and I really enjoyed it. And I think I gave it like an 8 out of 10 or a 7.5 out of 10. It was good. This is, if it wasn't for Astrobot and if I even if I like Astrobot, which I do, and I disregard the fact that Marvel Rivals is there because I'm genuinely not interested in it, for me, on a subjective level, this is a solid 3 to maybe about a 3 to 3.5 out of 10. If I like Overwatch style games, it becomes a 4.5, and that's looking at it objectively. So that's my view. For him to say a 6, nah, ain't happening. But you know what? You let me know in the comment section below what you think. Do you agree with DreamcastGuy? Do you give this a 6 out of 10? Or do you agree with me, giving it a 3.5 to 4.5 out of 10? Or do you have a different verdict? Something better? Did you really enjoy it? What was the standout for you? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion, and I will see you in the next one. As always, remain legend.